2014 HOT6 Cup Last Big Match Final.
HOT6 Cup Last Big Match 대만 결승전 경기입니다.
What's up, guys? Tastosis is back, and we are here in the grand finals of the HOT6 Cup. We'll be bringing out our two players, interviewing them, and then beginning a best of 7 to crown the champion for the final major Korean event of the year.
First up, we do have MarineKing, the big surprise here. The fact that he's come back to a finals in Korea out of seemingly nowhere. Of course, he's been playing, practicing. Still very amazing.
His opponent, SOS, 3-0ing his way through Sky High. He just has one more Terran he has to take down before he reaches that #1 spot as a champ. We'll go ahead and interview our players now, see their thoughts before we begin this match. So, MarineKing, you said you wanted to face a Protoss player. You have one. How do you feel? And by the way, this might be the best chance for you to win a championship. Your thoughts?
결승 올 때 항상 상대 4강 선수들 중에 이제
whenever I enter onto the final stage,
싫은 상대만 항상 결승에 왔었거든요.
I always
좀 결승할 때 항상
faced off against difficult opponents who I was concerned about facing off against.
진짜 제가 원하는 상대가 맞춰진
But
것
this
같아서
time, I really want to make the opponents that I'm facing, excuse me, I'm facing an opponent that I really wanted to face this time in Protoss, so I'm feeling confident.
그렇게 이정훈 선수가 원하던 결승 상대인가요? 그렇다면은 그 예전에 말씀해 주셨던 이번 목표가 준우승이었는데 김효진의 본승과
So
우승까지
before you
넘어가는
told
거예요.
me that as long as you make a Protoss, you're confident everything will be fine. Are you confident now?
항상 좀
Says, look, I know SOS is a great player,
그래서 좀 되게 질투가 많이 났어요.
and he knows how to take an opportunity he gave and turn that into a win. So I almost envy his play style.
이번 대회는 1억이 아닙니다. 1억이 아니에요. 하지만 김효진이 국내 대회에서
So SOS is not a $100,000 tournament.
최고의 기회를 맞이했습니다. 어떤 각오로 경기 임하실 건지 한 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
But since you're on the final stage, this is the first time for you in the final stage of the home tournament. Can you win it? How do you feel?
수많은 테란들을 꺾었던 것 같은데 상대 선수도 수많은 프로토스를
I think on my way to the final stage, you know, there were a lot of Terran players in this tournament. I took down every single one.
김효진 선수도 전략 전술
And
좋아하고
frankly, I'm happy to play and face off against Terran players instead of
이정훈
Protoss.
선수는 장기전간 경기가 없어요. 그 부분에 있어서 어떻게 생각하세요?
When we look at MarineKing's games, he finished them pretty early. What are your thoughts on that?
한순간도 방심해서
Yeah, I think he's pretty strong and is early in his mid game.
선수가 이렇게 이야기를 해줬습니다.
I will not drop my guard for a second.
네, 저도 솔직히 되게 S급 토스잖아요. 그리고 방금 조병세 선수랑 하는 거
SOS is a top-class Protoss player, and when I watch his games against Sky High just before, it's almost like he's flawless.
이제
So
이정훈
it's going to
선수의
be pretty fun,
S급으로
pretty
올라가야죠.
tough.
지금 개인적으로 스스로 평가하기에는 어떤 급입니까?
일단 오늘 우승한다면
Personally, where would you rank your skill?
정도 될 것 같은데 그 이후로 또
You know what? If I win the championship of the HOT6 Cup, then maybe I could say I'm the best Terran player in the world.
이 스타크래프트 역사에 빼놓을 수 없는 한 번의 엄청난 큰 사건이 있었습니다. 네, 그 큰 두 진영이 맞붙기 시작했을 때 최초의 경기를 했던
So there were big issues between those two players.
정말 오랜 시간이 지났는데 어떤가요? 그때 그 느낌 좀 기억나나요?
사실 이거는 이제
You would face each other a long, long time ago. Do you still remember that time?
있었던 일인데 제가 이제 그때 처음으로 졌잖아요. 그래서
He says, "Oh, I guess that's a bit of a secret, but
컴퓨터 앞에 앉지를 못했었어요. 너무 충격이 커가지고.
since it's been brought into the public light, I lost against SOS before, and it was a huge shock to me.
이번에 더 한번 이번
And
기회에
frankly, after I lost to him, I didn't play for a whole week.
욕심이 있을 것 같은데 그래서도 이번에는 뭐 처음에는 준우승 정도 한번 해보고 싶다라고
So you
했지만
must have a huge desire to beat him this time around.
이렇게 된 거 우승 한번 제대로 해보고
And
싶죠.
you even said you're going to prove who's the real Kong.
뭐 물론 복수할 것도 있고 그리고 너무 운도 이제 저한테 따라주는 대회인 것 같아요. 그래서
his response is,
기회에 꼭 잘해서 우승해야 될 것 같아요. 개인적으로.
you know, I think this is my best chance to be a champion.
네, 제가 봤을 때도 그때와 경기
I'm gonna have to do
스타일이
my very
뭐
best to try to
별반
beat
다르지
SOS
않을
now.
것 같아요. 그래서 아마 리매치의 어떤 느낌이 많이 날 것 같고 그 조병세 선수와 마찬가지로 김민 선수가 준비하기에는 오늘 이정훈 선수도 최근에 어떤 데이터는 없는 선수란 말입니다. 그래서 준비하는데 좀 어려움이 있었을 것 같은데
So
어떻게
just like
준비를
Sky
했나요?
High, MarineKing doesn't have a lot of information on him recently. How do you feel about that for preparation?
선수 위주로
And
맞췄고
how did you prepare for it this time around?
오전제기 때문에 안 하는 맵이 2개 더 있어서 빌드는 다 생각해 놓고 그냥 재밌는 게임 했으면 좋겠어요.
No, I mainly prepared for my matches against Sky High. And I actually spent more time setting the
이렇게
map
선수들 이야기
than my
들어봤습니다.
opponent.
이번 시즌에 이제 선수들이 최고 자리에 오르면서
it's
멋진
time.
마무리 하고 싶겠죠. 과연 누가 이
We're
자리에서
going to send these players
최고의 자리에
to
오르고
the
우승 트로피를
booths.
들어올릴지 이제
And
경기 준비
we are
끝났습니다.
going to get
마지막
the finals
결승전.
of the HOT6 Cup
결승전 무대를
underway.
시작하겠습니다.
SOS against MarineKing, a Protoss versus Terran, where one will walk away a champion.
This is pretty sick, Tasteless. SOS playing just God mode in that last series. But MarineKing destroying every Protoss in his way.
Yep.
What's Younghwa looking at?
Yeah, I saw Younghwa down there for a second. SOS. I think he's got a good chance. I'm sure the majority of our viewers are cheering for MarineKing.
You think?
I think so.
Like
yeah.
SOS won IM Katowice, which is IM World Championship, and then also BlizzCon. So
이 우승컵을 놓고 싸울 두 명의 주인공
Let's go ahead and
맞습니다.
meet
참 가슴
the
졸이는
players, friends, and family here and see what their thoughts are.
바로 이 두 선수의 측근,
Since the players are still getting everything set up.
만나보는 시간을 가져볼 텐데요. 가장 먼저 이정우 선수의 어머니를 모시고 이야기를 나눠보겠습니다.
So
안녕하세요.
over here
네.
on the right side of our
와,
screen, it
아들이
is
이렇게
MarineKing's
큰
mother.
무대에서 오랜만에 왔습니다. 어머니 소감이
So
어떠세요?
you must be really proud of your son. How do you feel?
우리 가족 너무 감회가 깊어서 눈물 흘렸습니다.
정말 그런 것 같은데요.
All my family is really touched,
결승전에 올라가는
and we're all
그
just very overwhelmed with how he's
확정지었을 때
performing here today.
정말 다 눈물을 글썽이셨어요. 그동안 마음고생도 심하셨나요?
네. 준우승을 너무 많이 했기 때문에 정말
But he didn't really play well. How did you feel about him then?
가슴이 찢어졌습니다.
이번에는
He was always the
우승하길
runner-up, and it always hurt my
바라고
heart.
네, 이번에는 뭐 크게 그리 기대는 안
So you're hoping he's the champion this time?
가 많았기 때문에 근데 저의 피나는 노력으로 인해서
And she said, I didn't know what to
결승까지
expect,
올라온
but
거를 정말 자랑스럽게 생각합니다.
네,
I'm
우리
really proud of
자랑스러운
how much
아들
effort he's put into
힘내야
this and
할
heart
텐데
into this.
우리 이정우 선수에게 그러면 아주 힘이 되는 응원의 메시지 보내볼까요?
네, 그동안
Do you have
저를
any
믿고
words of support for him?
기다려주고 사랑해준 팬들을 위해서 오늘 기회가 왔으니까 정말 최선을 다해서 좋은 공기 펼쳐서 저를 사랑하는 팬들에게 보답할 수 있었으면
My son, there are lots of
좋겠습니다.
fans waiting and watching, supporting,
이정우
and
선수
cheering for you.
꼭
So don't let them
힘낼
down.
거라 생각이 됩니다. 이번에는 김유진 선수를 응원하는 진에어 그린링스의 바라만 봐도
All right, over here on the left side of the screen, this is SOS's friend.
만나보도록 하겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네,
And
참
his
오랜만에
team
뵀는데
captain
오늘 진에어
Terminator.
그린링스 선수들이 다 같이 응원을 와서 응원하는 모습 참 기분이 좋습니다. 오늘 김유진 선수 이길 것 같으세요?
So I see all of the Junior players came down here to support him.
동원됐기 때문에 우승을 해야 이제 많은
He said,
것들을
what do you
살 수
think the
있어서
results are going to be?
우승했으면 좋겠습니다.
김유진 선수가 이긴다면
Since all the players are down here today, I think SOS is going to win.
원래 유진이가 이 핫식스컵 상금을
Did you expect anything from SOS after he wins? Yeah, with such a big prize pool.
마음을 별로 안 비추더라고요. 근데 4강 결승까지 온 거 보니까 이제 한국 대회도 우승해보고 싶구나 해서
You know, through most of the HOT6 Cup, he didn't show as much motivation to win the tournament. But now he's on the final stage here. Now I think he probably have a desire more than ever before.
명맥을 계속 이어나가야 될 것 같기 때문에 오늘 아쉽지만 준우승에서
We know MarineKing's really well known for Kong.
만족해야 될 것 같습니다.
이렇게 어머니 옆에
And he's gonna show me he's the
계시는데
real
참
Kong this time.
용감하게 말씀을 하시네요.
And
자,
Terminator.
그렇다면 마지막으로 우리 김유진 선수
So this is Terminator right here. Terminator and MarineKing's mother. As you said, you're pretty brave saying that with MarineKing's mother here.
네, 갑자기
And he said any final words? He said, please win. And then he said, I'll be back.
자, 이정우 선수와
Hasta la
김유진
vista,
선수의
baby.
무대
No, that Terminator doesn't say that.
준비해
Arnold
주시고요.
Schwarzenegger.
준비해
Wait, does
주세요.
Arnold Schwarzenegger say that? Hasta la vista. Or Terminator say that?
yeah.
Oh yeah, he does.
Ah! Get out of here. Get out of here on your crutches, Tasteless.
Not a Tuma. No, Terminator didn't say that one either. They're making a new Terminator movie, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that.
Let's go see that.
I didn't see the preview for it, but I'm sure it's going to be just awful. I can't wait.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad.
I can't wait.
It looks
1 and 2 are great.
bad.
They should have stopped there.
I don't know. I thought 3 was the best one by far.
What about 4? You like 4?
I didn't see 4. I stopped after 3.
I think you need to go watch 4.
I don't want my childhood being mutilated anymore with a...
Oh, it's too late. Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I saw
Star Wars 1 through 3.
I think
Terminator 3
the new
and 4.
Star Wars movies look good.
Yeah, the new one looks amazing.
It does. We haven't seen much,
Yeah.
but I mean, J.J. Abrams is a pretty good
Well,
director.
what I'm waiting for is the preview that has Jar Jar Binks as the newest Jedi. That's what I think that
He's like,
that's,
he's a Jedi this time, guys.
the thing is, how are they going to bring in the levity required in a movie to actually make it good without Jar Jar Binks in there?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are saying Jar Jar Binks, should not have been in the old Star Wars movies. I'll tell you this right now. He was the greatest addition, and the whole thing wouldn't have ran without him.
You look at episodes 4, 5, and 6, right? And it's like, okay, so Han Solo, you think him cracking some jokes here and there is enough comedy?
Yeah.
No, I think that you need a
R2 being
character
cute
like...
and funny? No, you needed Jar Jar.
You need a character
In fact,
like Jar
what they
Jar
need to do
Binks.
is they need to edit the original Star Wars movies and put Jar Jar all throughout that, okay? Somebody get on that.
I would
Somebody
buy
edit
that
Jar Jar Binks
so
scenes.
fast.
Needless scenes just with Jar Jar put in there to make that better.
Like, for instance, think about
This idea is so funny.
Yeah.
Someone's going to steal this, and we're going to find out about it next year, and that guy's going to make a lot of money off
He
this.
should.
No, we should, man. That was our idea.
Well,
we just
I think it would make the movies a lot better.
I think so. We are back, and it is time to start this best of 7 between SOS and his Terran opponent, MarineKing.
All right, we'll see if MarineKing can hold on against the force that is SOS right now.
I do say SOS is the favorite here. I really feel
He
that.
has to be. He's SOS. God, this guy is like so good. He does the stupidest things that ever. Like, he does stuff that anyone else that tries it will just lose, and he kills you with it.
And we talk about how he does a lot of proxies, a lot of cheeses, a lot of all-ins. You'd think that would make him predictable, yet somehow he's not. And it's going to be weird to see how MarineKing responds to this, simply because MarineKing is also a bit of an unpredictable player.
Yeah, he definitely can be. He used some weird builds in there, like that tank rush. That was very interesting.
I wonder if a tank build like that would work well against SOS. I feel like the answer is no.
It might. SOS has funny amounts of units at funny times from his weird playstyle, so I'm not really sure. This is a little bit up in the air.
Well, SOS, the guy who's known for winning every prize pool that's the biggest, is now here to win the final Starcraft 2 event of the year here in Korea. MarineKing is somebody who's been known for getting second place. He's kind of like the very first Sue.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
He could end up continuing them on with that legacy. Or he could break the curse right now and beat one of the best Protosses in the whole world, SOS.
Well, SOS, it's been 267 days since he's won 100 grand, so that seems a little bit unfair, right? Like, he should win a big tournament. Probably that money's all gone.
Think so?
Oh, of course, yeah.
He spent it all on Pogs. Is that what he did? You've won 100 grand, SOS. What are you going to do? I'm going to get the biggest Pog collection the world's ever seen.
And then he still has $99,000.
Yeah.
And then he buys a boat, puts all the Pogs in the boat, pushes it out into the ocean, sets it on fire.
Wow.
It's like, I hated Pogs as a kid. Now they're all gone.
I've wiped Pogs off the earth.
It's like, Pog producer just makes more Pogs. It's like, no!
I should have attacked the Pog factory. It's best of 7, guys.
That's right.
And map 1's going to be Catalina.
Love that Thunderstick nerd.
Yeah, get that Thunderstick ready, because game 1 is starting here for our finals of the HOT6 Cup at GOMTV. In the bottom right, in the blue, we have our Protoss player in the finals. He is None other than the one, the only,
the man himself.
Teen Air Green Wings SOS.
I think we handled that just fine.
I think it was good.
Yeah.
It's meant to be that way.
The Korean casters must have had a much longer intro for him than I gave. Guy has made a lot of money.
Certainly has.
More money than basically everybody else for the least amount of events. In the upper left, in the red, he is.
MVP MarineKing.
He was MarineKing, but is he MarineKing
Well,
again?
I was going to say he was somebody who was on top and had fallen off, but now he's here again and he's back. But
yeah, you can't really argue with results is the thing. Like, I mean, it's mostly been him holding Protoss all-ins. He hasn't even played the other 2 races yet in this tournament. Well, that's backwards, right?
I had to read that backwards, yeah.
But the thing is, you can't argue with the results. Here he is. He's in the finals. He's killed all the Protosses. So that's as legit as you can get. But can he kill the last Protoss? I would normally call Zest the final boss of the Protosses, but you know what? If you beat Zest, the only guy that could come after Zest, like Zest, you know how like you beat a boss and you think the game is over, but then there's another boss?
I was about to say, this is the moment where like, you know, we're in the latter version of good video games where, yeah, you do kill the boss and then you think it's done and then it's going to go, then it's like, uh-oh, final form SOS is up.
Yeah, it's like...
And he's actually taken the form of every other Protoss boss in the game. And so now you have to beat each of the old bosses again, but this time with more techniques and he's faster and he has more hit points.
SOS is basically Kefka from Final Fantasy III, where it just keeps going up and there's like more of Kefka and he's just like this weird...
Oh yeah, that final scene.
Yeah.
You know, you can find that on Google Image, the entire Kefka boss.
Yeah, I think I saw it like a few years ago.
I used to have that as one of the wallpapers on my PC.
How did it even fit?
It was just, I made it smaller and most of my background wasn't there.
Oh, that's a pretty terrible wallpaper.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was cool. I had my icon set up around it, so.
Oh, I thought they'd probably be right over it.
Right over it. Everything else is black. Oh my God! Don't let this happen. No, not like this. Not at the start of the tournament, MarineKing.
Not going to be greedy about it. His mothership core is coming. He can still get it. There's still time to kill that SCV.
In fact, that SCV will probably die.
Look, this Marine is going to come too far out, perhaps. Let's see. Does he see it? There he sees it. He sees it. No! No!
Oh my God! He overextended with that.
Oh no, he didn't. He's heard it, the attack, but it never actually hit. Whiffed it.
He's coming over here and just bringing the mothership core. Actually, he can't get those SCVs in front of that Zealot, which is quite bad. He wants to be able to get in there, and that means this mothership core is actually going to take out all of these Marines. This is a terrible start, Artosis.
Yeah, this is pretty darn good for SOS.
Just needs to make sure this Stalker does not get surrounded.
Yeah, and especially this mothership core. If he doesn't lose a mothership core, it's like ridiculous what he's done
here. The bunker's not even being built. Oh my God, SOS, why are you making this look so easy?
He's like, because
Some guys at home watching this like, why don't I just ladder with this? Okay. A lot of this is just I guess it's not a bad spot to park the 2 Stalkers.
Well, I mean, this is already over, right?
Yeah, basically. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you serious?
No.
I cannot believe.
The time warp was just so funny on one Marine that was about to die.
That was comical. Yeah, he's like, well, I guess SCVs won't get over here to repair this very quickly.
Well, more Stalkers on the way. And we'll see. What can MarineKing really do here? This is pretty tough, Tasteless. Like, he's down to 15 SCVs against 25 probes. That Nexus is on the way. It's a pretty bad situation.
All right, so we have 2 more gates coming up here. Yeah, I mean, he took a serious blow. I'm not sure what a Terran player does here. I guess just not make any mistakes whatsoever and hope that Protoss will overextend here. This is, all these games are playing out exactly to SOS's strength.
Yeah, well,
he gets in there, he does the damage, he catches you off guard. No way MarineKing thought that was actually going to come at him like that.
Yeah. And then the micro was like really good. Look at this now. He's
making
these
a lot of gates. For instance, this game, if you didn't know who was playing, if we just blank this out, I would not think it was actually MarineKing playing at all. It doesn't look like that.
Well, you can't even tell who it is because so much damage is done early on. Like, MarineKing's style can't even be shown through what's happening, I don't think. Like, right now we do have 5 gates finishing up here. So it looks like we're going to have a follow-up 5 gate from SOS. I think. Maybe
yeah,
not even.
It
It's
looks
like
it.
actually
No, it is a follow-up 5 game. I think that he probably noticed the bunker is pretty far from where the ramp is. Or wait, did he actually see the bunker? Am I crazy?
I don't know if he's actually seen
I'm sorry,
the bunker.
I might be wrong. But the
thing
fact of the matter is the bunker is very far from where the SCVs are. He can't just go up there.
You can definitely bust the bunker. That's not going to be a problem with this many sentries. So, you know, maybe I guess he just looks at it and says, I've already killed enough SCVs. If I do this again, I'm going to be able to kill more SCVs. We do have a bunch of Marines actually up on the high ground. And the fact that they're up there waiting for like a possible Oracle means that this rush will kill the bunker before it can even be reacted to.
So he's going to come up here now. He's going to just do this damage, and the Marines are now being driven out.
Oh, watch this force
Oh,
field.
my God.
Brutal. Oh, God. SOS.
That's the end of this game. That's it. I got to say, game 1, we were talking about how SOS was probably going to win this. This is looking like a pretty strong start.
Oh, SOS just looking so godly right now.
He makes this look unfair, to be frank.
Really,
I mean, he's just.
I'm kind of sitting here in shock. I think that you just kill people. Is that
well?
like?
It's funny because I feel like it's harder to capture a lot of the complexity of what is happening in the openers here, because it's not like Protoss players all over the world are sending a Mothership Core, a Zealot, and a Stalker and winning games.
No,
but it's the way he's throwing them off, the way he's his builds are unpredictable, the way he's masking everything. And there you go. Game 1 is a win.
Yeah, that's something that SOS will do from time to time as well. He did it against TY, I believe, in the round of groups, I believe. But excuse me.
Oh, Tosis, you okay?
I'm okay. But seriously, he's like he's pretty good, Tasteless, this SOS character.
Yes, he is. Well, what is MarineKing going to do? These games are looking eerily unwinnable for Terran from SOS's standpoint. When you look at how SOS has played and how Zest played, very different, but SOS is so completely comfortable and confident.
Yeah, SOS, like, the way he plays is just so different. I know we keep saying that, but
well, it really is. That strat we saw back there, that was a really early strat that was out when the Mothership Core came out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were doing it against Terrans, and it went out of style. And he just brought it back here. He's done it more than once already, and it's been very effective. He knows that in the meta right now, Terrans are getting a little bit greedy. Not as many Terrans are actually comboing Mothership Core with Zealot and Stalker.
Well, I think that MarineKing maybe wants to stop doing Command Center first, specifically, because SOS does do things like Proxy Gate.
The sad thing is his Command Center first builds are pretty good and pretty greedy, but yeah, I think you're right. Clearly, SOS just gets in there, does the damage, dismantles the Terran. And the funny thing is, if you get the Zealots inside the base, the Mothership Core is there doing damage, and then the Stalker gets in, usually at this level of play, that is enough to get the Terran at such a disadvantage, not just because workers are being killed, not just because the Marines are insufficient to handle it, not just because Time Warp is a threat, but also because the Command Center's not building, other things aren't building as well, and Terran is not mining in that process, while Protoss is doing everything that Protoss needs to do.
Yeah, that's well summed up, Tasteless. Our next map going to be Foxtrot Labs. Well, definitely a weird map, a map that looks like something SOS would have fun on.
It looks like that. Let's see what Billy's got in store for us here. We're going into game number 2 of our best of 7 here in the finals of the HOT6 Cup. The last event of the year here in Korea at GOMTV. In the bottom left, in the red, our Protoss player. His ID is
Gene Green Wings SOS.
The 2013 World Champion. The 2013 IEM World Champion as well.
Possibly the HOT6 Cup champion by the end of tonight. In the upper right,
MVP MarineKing.
A brilliant player who had gone out of style. A lot of people thought he was, he burned out, I guess you could say. And wrong, guys, dead wrong. He's back. He's here in the finals. That person knows.
Yeah, he does.
The guy behind him knows, too.
Guy way over on the far right didn't know, though.
And I guess we'll have to see how MarineKing opens here. We saw the quick command center get punished pretty hard. I don't know if he's going to do it again. The fact that we don't have gas being taken tells me MarineKing is going to do it again.
Yeah. Well, not quite as quick, I guess, but you know, this is a build we've seen popping up every now and then, just a one-racks expand once again. I do wonder what SOS is going to do, though, because like I care less about what MarineKing's going to do because it's really SOS that's doing the weird stuff, and he's going to chrono boost.
Well, I think if we get to mid-game, MarineKing might start doing whatever he wants to do, but most of the time, and that's really one of the core strengths of SOS, even if it's not a cheese, whatever he's done in the early game has so far forced, or so much so forced the other player to deviate from the norm. I mean, even these like faked cannon rushes that he's done against Zerg in the past have screwed up the Zerg's build so much. Now, also note, where's that Zealot going, Tosis? Tell everybody.
To the main.
Oh, my God. And what's going on in the main?
He just walks to the top left. I'm like, huh.
He goes, we're like, well, that's not good. He loses the game. We're like, well, I'm sorry, guys. I thought we were going to show you something.
This is kind of a tricky move because he normally you just attack the eBay right away. But he chrono boosts the Zealot, so it's obviously for aggression. See if he actually does something with this. Saying Zealot, does this come to clear this? Okay, it does. I don't know that the first Zealot's actually going to get anything done.
No, I don't think so, because MarineKing did a variation build. He did not go straight into the command center. He actually got a few Marines out here, so he can hold this no problem. He can kite the Zealot with the Marines. Easy peasy.
Yeah, it shouldn't be any problem, especially with MarineKing Micro. It does force him to run away after taking some damage.
So the CC's on the way. Now, he's seen MarineKing get double CC, but that's not going to happen this time. He's getting 2 barracks. And this is going to be more of the traditional quick CC play we've seen from a lot of Terran players. Question is, after that, does he tech up more? Does he get 2 more barracks after that? Because we've seen a lot of variations of this, and it's really up to the Protoss to read correctly and figure out what's going on and respond. Because a lot of the early game for Terran, once Terran gets set up in his safe, Protoss can't really scout him. Unless he has an Oracle or something. It takes a while to get the Robo Bay out. Oh my God, here we go again.
Well, he's reducing this Marine count right now, which is pretty nice. Like, trading your 2 early Zealots, like, normally those 2 early Zealots just eventually die, like, not really getting too much done other than tanking. But
oh, nice block of the SCVs there.
Some extra damage. That was quite nice to kill off those Marines. That was a good trade for SOS. Those earlier Marines, so much more important than the early Zealots. And now I guess he just like denies the expansion with.
I don't know, guys. He just makes up and sends it right in.
Yeah.
Even when I'm watching these engagements, I'm like, well, that won't actually. Okay, well, yes, it will. All right. Well, problem is that these Stalkers are not worth nearly as much as it is for Terran to have SCVs mining.
Yeah. Plus, he's killing enough and
Marines also notice
that's worth it already.
He's just lost shields too.
Yeah.
This is oh, you know what? I don't know if this was entirely the plan until he breached that base.
I feel like he just goes with the flow, to be honest, most of the time. Like,
I think a lot of the builds are quite organic and based off what he sees happening. And
he probably, when he's doing this build, he's saying, okay, I'm either going to get Blink or Dark Shrine. Normally I do enough damage for Dark Shrine or something like that, or maybe decides,
the other way around,
like, oh, this time, like, oh, I did a lot of damage, so let's Dark Shrine.
He might have chased him back over there and said, oh, he doesn't have a bunker. Okay, Dark Shrine. He actually can't even get stuff on the low ground here. I can keep using my Stalkers that are much more nimble than the Marine Marauder without stem.
The odds of immediately building a turret once pushing those Stalkers away, maybe not as high.
Yeah, I'd say probably lower than a lot of the other things that could happen here.
Yeah.
And so I guess he uses that once again. And he could even follow this up. Actually, there's a lot of things he can do. He could try to go more eco. He can follow this up with a lot more gates and actually contain the ramp, because if Terran is going to try to reclaim the low ground, I don't believe Terran has a factory, by the way, do they? Is there a factory?
No,
so there's no factory. So if he gets DTs and actually pushes Terran up onto the high ground again, man, and think about that, he actually can then contain the low ground.
Yeah.
With force fields.
I mean, if he does something like that, it's so brutal if a move like that occurs. So let's see here. It's the DT is going to be coming in. A turret is on the way, of course, as we see. It's in that natural.
Okay, well, unfortunately, oh, he didn't see that turret there. That's too bad. Yeah. But he does have the DTs up here. Once again, becoming a big nuisance right now for MarineKing. In fact, he didn't even have enough Marines there. This is really bad, because this means the other DT can also slip in here.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. And now all he has to do is split them because we're waiting on a scan right now. War Prism
oh my
actually
god,
on
he's
the
going
way.
to get the...
If he gets
stim finishes, excuse me.
Oh, okay.
I thought for a second that was lower on
No,
HP.
if you kill the
that would probably be the
stim, I
that'd
feel
be
like that's
game
a
over.
win.
Yeah. Terran is
Terran doesn't
stifled
come
for
back
so
from
long.
that.
No. Now, Willie, he doesn't look like he wants to try to push up here. He's being pretty conservative with the DT play. Notice he just wants to keep the DT alive. He's going to try to get some kills and then run away again, like you see there. You see, can I cancel anything? Okay, he sees a play. Oh, okay, he does get that out of there. And did we have 2 more DTs warped in? I guess we'll find out in a minute here.
No.
I guess he could use the Warp Prism, send them in into the main, and just keep MarineKing busy.
I think he might be done with it. Like, he could make 1 more DT in the main. That would be actually really nice because some stuff will be out of range of the turret. But at this point, sometime soon, MarineKing's going to have to push out across the map and put pressure on at least.
He knows.
And when he does that,
he was talking about right
warping.
back there. He was saying the same thing you were.
You think so?
Yeah.
Behind that, he was whispering it to his HOT6?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not crazy at all.
That's that magic talking HOT6 about talking Siege Tank in their first best of 5. So, we have the DTs coming out now, again in the main, and I think this is fine.
Yeah.
Look, just get a few more kills. It's pretty tough for MarineKing to get back here and get the Warp Prism once he picks up the DT.
Yeah. It's pretty sick. Like, that DT killing, it got 3 kills. It's denying a bunch of mining time, including a ton of gas. And now MarineKing has to walk out. And this is like this is a time where you have to look at it and be like, okay, now all that matters is holding this.
Yeah, that's all that matters. In fact, I think he's going to drop the DT into the main again. Actually, I think I see a blip on the map. I think that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. Looks like he was going to attempt it, but those 2 Marines there tell him not to.
He doesn't have any sentries with his army, by the way.
Yeah, this has been so gas heavy. That's his 4th
now,
DT.
He could also, when you tech like this as Protoss, you can actually pick up and go into the main too. I'm saying that Terran can do that. There's not really a lot there. Your army's not that strong because DTs cost so much.
And it looks like that's what he wants to do, I believe.
Oh, this is pretty smart. I bet there isn't anything over here to defend.
Oh wait, no, never mind. I'm sorry. That was something else. I think it's an SCV or something in the natural, but or the 3rd base. DT getting a few more kills. Very worthwhile DTs for sure.
Oh my God, he actually might be able to kill that before it gets canceled, and that is exactly what happens. That's a pretty big win there for MarineKing.
Yeah, that was
to basically kill a Nexus. 400 minerals. Think of all the damage that SOS has done to MarineKing throughout with the DTs. Probably not worth 400 minerals. Or maybe just about 400 minerals. I guess he did get some SCVs.
Yeah, I would say that. But he lost a lot of DTs too, so this game is not. It's not like super favored for anyone right now. It's actually hard to put exactly where the game's at. I would say that the crucial point in this game to look at right now is the fact that 2-2 has started. If he lives without taking economic damage on his 2 bases, and he doesn't lose his expensive units in his army, and that 2-2 finishes, huge lead for SOS. So this is like the window in which MarineKing is going to have to do something here. Because he doesn't have a 3rd command. And, oh god.
Oh my god, this is so bad. Even if he picks up, he's going to lose a lot of stuff on the low ground.
This was really, really good for SOS.
Probably pretty needless too. That's basically a dead end down there.
Yeah.
To get the pylon, not worth it to lose those Marines and Marauders.
Certainly not.
Could have even lost more if he wasn't careful. Meanwhile, Protoss is upgrading like crazy.
Yeah, as 2-2 finishes, that's like just so insane. I mean, before he hits there again, or if he walks down right now, like, I'm sure SOS can stall until it, but he's going to have 2-2, and that's, like, the difference between having 2 more upgrades against Terran as Protoss when you have Blinkstalker Colossus is so big. Like, Blinkstalker Colossus, you can actually play at 0-0 against 2-2. You can do it.
Sure.
It can be done if you open up the game in a certain way and kept pressure on. You absolutely can play like that. We see a lot of Protosses do that. But here, being at 2-2, he's going to be in amazing shape.
Well, it looks like he should be able to pin the Warp Prism over here. Warp Prism just retreating around here, but it has to turn at such an angle, a very gradual one. I think the Vikings can get 1 or 2 more shots off there. And well, especially if you make a 90-degree turn like that.
That was a cute turn.
That was
less than 90 degrees.
That's true.
Yeah.
That was like a 40-degree turn. It was almost going back into the Vikings.
It was a pretty sharp turn.
Wow.
Dude, he has 3 Immortals, 2 Archons. How many Colossus? Like 2 or 3 of those. A bunch
3.
of charge lots. It's insane. And with 2 more upgrades, like...
this is going to be tough.
If this... In a straight-up engagement, he rolls. 4 Immortals. 4 Immortals. Look at this. This is mostly Marauders. 21 Marauders, 20 Marines. He is going to roll through this.
Yeah, and he's got more than enough Zealots. And look, he's making, what, DTs over here to make Archons.
Darkons, more like
Darkons? Why have we not figured that out yet? Yeah, he has more than enough. It's a beautiful combo, especially with the Immortals and the Archons in here. That's going to make this very easy. Even though MarineKing has a nice spread, and even though MarineKing has some of the best micro in the business, where is he going to micro to?
It doesn't even matter. And the thing is, he doesn't even care that these Colossus are going to die. MarineKing actually overmade Vikings here.
Yeah,
his
he made
ground
way
army
too many Vikings. In fact, look at the number of medevacs compared to Vikings. Is that really the way you want this to look?
His army is just woefully insufficient to deal with these 2
It's going to be a 2-0, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, see the pain in his face when he saw MarineKing getting wrecked?
Well, you should be an SOS fan then, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Man.
SOS taking game number 2. Pretty fantastically done.
I got to say, a pretty cut and dry game.
Well, SOS really knows what he's doing here. God. I feel like, this is supposed to be like this amazing epic match between these two, but
SOS is making it look quite different.
He's just on fire today.
He is. He's making it look like MarineKing's not supposed to be here. In fact, no Terran player should be here, belong here, in the same space as SOS. SOS just looks too good. It's interesting. It's from start to finish. He opens up with a good build. Not all these builds are intricate or complex, but they are unusual for where the meta is, and they are well matched against his opponent. Yeah. And then he follows that up with perfect play, really good decision making, and usually engages exactly when there's no way he can lose.
Yeah, it's so interesting the way that he's playing here.
The Shadow Casters.
Oh, the
casters by
casters.
Night, nerds by day. We have a pretty one-sided series so far. It doesn't mean
it's only 2-0. It won't necessarily keep going this way and be like a 3-0 or a 4-0. Like a lot of times, someone goes 2-0 to start and then it goes back the other way.
I don't know if it's going to happen this time.
The way that SOS has been playing, it doesn't seem like it. He just makes some early units, messes you up.
How many times has he gotten in there with this opener that's the 2 Zealots, the Mothership Core and the Stalker, the old?
Well, he's done that, a few.
3
I guess
times
2 times today, exactly 2 Zealots. Well, the other one was 1 Zealot.
1 Zealot.
So
the theme is still there.
Get your facts straight, Tasis. But no, that was a crucial part to reduce that Marine count. Is actually very important.
It's enough of a distraction to the build that Terran's trying to do. It's enough of a delay, and you got to think, as anybody knows that plays StarCraft, the build is so important, but the first minute of the build is really important because everything's based off that.
Yeah.
If you lose like 3 or 4 SCVs, lose your Marine, get your whatever structure you're making out later, everything you know about that build is a little bit off. And I think that's part of why SOS is having such a success in the latter part of the match.
The thing is, I think that if you drop SOS to a certain level of opponent, his builds don't work anymore.
Yeah,
because
I think so.
Especially one like that, if you look at it, it's like he shows his first Zealot, right? Does nothing. Now, if he plays versus a slightly lower level pro than MarineKing, that player may make a bunker, may stand in a different position, and then the second Zealot becomes a huge waste. Now he has these 2 Zealots early on. He's like, well, everything else is behind now. Instead, MarineKing's like, well, I can get a little bit of an edge. I have plenty of Marines. He's, I don't really need to make anything, and then he loses 7 Marines. And
it is a good point. It's a strat that seems to be tailored against somebody who is cutting corners, and pro gamers do cut corners in RTS games. They're not, they don't have needless bunkers.
They don't get any paper cuts.
They do not get any paper cuts, yes. Well, they do against SOS because he's actually...
He kills you through 1,000 paper cuts.
Yes, he does. We see that if there was a worse player, you're right, though, he would have a bunker up. He would, if it was somebody just lower level on ladder, very low masters or something, he would just have unnecessary defense maybe.
Maybe.
But somebody like MarineKing who's thinking, okay, I got to do the quickest way, find the quickest route to get the most out in the mid game. SOS just gets in there and punishes him. I think we're going to have to see a big revamp of what MarineKing's doing here for his openers. And also, SOS has a lot of different room, a lot of different strats you can use.
Yeah, I mean, SOS has so many different builds, and like for instance, in this game we haven't seen an Oracle yet in this series, but he loves Oracles against
He can save that for later.
Yeah, he'll just pop that out later when MarineKing starts defending against this type of early stuff. Let's go ahead and make an Oracle.
Well, comebacks have happened. Will today be one, or is SOS going to continue his march on to the championship title here for the HOT6 Cup? We're going to see. Match number 3 is going to be on merry-go-round.
Well, if he wins this one, I don't know what to say. Merry-go-round is a tough map for Protoss vs. Terran, but oftentimes SOS just ignores the maps that are bad matchups. Like, you know, he'll do a build that'll negate it, and that's it. And, you know, that's something that can become very predictable, but even when people scout exactly what he's doing, he still makes it work. He's like, the only other Protoss I can compare him to at all, really, is MC, really, where it's like, well, I mean, MC just kind of does stuff and kills you. SOS is even more refined in that way.
It's time for game number 3 here between MarineKing and SOS in the finals of the HOT6 Cup. In the upper left, in the red, our Protoss player on a roll right now. He is. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. He is.
Gene Air Green Wings SOS.
All right. SOS, if you weren't watching earlier, this guy has been on a roll today. He's been on a roll lately, winning a lot of money. But right now, he is making Terran look like there is no chance. And his opponent here in the upper right, back from the early days of Starcraft 2.
MVP MarineKing.
Some of the best micro in the business. And by the way, we haven't really touched on this since we've been in the finals here. MarineKing got here by holding off all-ins from his Protoss opponents.
Yeah, yeah.
Most of the games, Protoss attempted to kill MarineKing very early. And we saw it get shut down. MarineKing has good micro. He's very good at responding. He's very good at eking out a win, eking out safety when somebody's attacking him like that. Even against Zest, but here SOS is. He just runs in there. He doesn't win with these all-ins, but he definitely does enough damage with his pressure builds. He punishes correctly that it doesn't matter. He's getting a lead. I want to highlight, it's not just that SOS makes a Stalker, makes 2 Zealots, and sends a Mothership Core in. It's where he sends them, how he attacks, when he chooses to full-on fight the SCVs versus run. When he's even using those time warps, which aren't always necessary.
Looks like SOS at least going to scout in the wrong direction. No, actually, he's going for a proxy Oracle, it looks like.
Okay. I guess if there was a map using a proxy Oracle, this would be the place to do it. He's proxying something because he's sending it to the right on that high ground area.
That's a really common proxy location because obviously it can get to both bases rather easily.
Yeah, it's basically equidistant from the 2 bases. Almost got that really smart person word out, but...
Yeah, not quite.
Not quite, man.
Now you're in quite a snafu.
What a snafu. What a casting snafu this is now.
Okay, look, he has it measured out with the gas. We'll be able to afford this off of 1 geyser. This makes it something that's like a little bit confusing even if you get a SCV and then you might look at it and be like, what?
Well, the one thing that is a tell is that he got a Zealot initially, so the minerals were going somewhere.
Well, this is a pretty heavy pressure build at least.
You also have to ask yourself, is MarineKing actually going to check for anything proxied? He's probably been so overly concerned with the rushes that we saw previously. He might be taking a big sigh of relief, not knowing that in fact there's another rush that is headed his way very soon here.
Well, he is getting his gases. He has 2 Marines pumping out at a time off of those double racks. I'm just excited to see how SOS pulls it off because I just feel like he's going to pull it off somehow.
Yeah, that's sort of the way my mind's working too. I'm like, well, we know he's going to kill him really fast here, right? That's what he's been doing this entire day.
Yeah. Well, right now there's no Marines in the mineral lines, are there? They're actually standing
they're on
in the
ramp.
Place. Yeah.
And he goes in here, and unfortunately,
well, you see double gas, you go to the mineral line. You have to.
That Oracle's coming up here now. Where are those Marines now? Oh my God, he just ran right by him.
Oh God,
Oh
and the
my
thing
God.
is, 6 Marines against this, never in a million years. Oh God, tasteless.
Look at that. He knows, he's like, I don't even need to move this away. Watch this, LOL.
Oh, and there's not even a turret, there's nothing. Oh my
God.
Well, I mean, I guess SOS is like just, I guess he just destroys everything in his path today. That's it. Going up to 3 Oracles once again. There's an eBay on the way. It's way too late.
Yeah, it's way, way
7
too late.
SCVs and 6 Marines killed already.
Problem is
Look at this. Oh, 4 Marines and a 5th comes up. Well, we all know the math on Oracles, and that dies.
He's like, all right, anyways, back to killing the SCVs.
This is actually where it's completely okay to GG. Like, oh my God.
I am
SOS.
It's weird, too, because obviously SOS is very skilled at what he's doing. But
Greatest match of the year right here.
These wins, I think, probably look very rudimentary.
They're not, though.
They're
This
not.
is really hard
It's really good execution, but he's making this look like if you've never watched Starcraft before, you'd probably be like, well, what are those flying things doing in the game? You'd be like, no, really, they don't normally work this effectively. The fact that he's even kept all 3 of them alive is impressive.
It looks like when he does it, you look at it probably if you're like a new person. Oh God! And you probably look at it and you think to yourself, well, this is always the way this would go, right? It looks like this couldn't happen any other way. It's like, well, no, I mean, oh my God, he's making Void Rays.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I mean, I made 2 Oracles. I killed basically everything. I guess I'll just make a Void Ray now.
Those things are pretty good, right? We're like, well,
they have a lot
not
of
normally
health,
against Terran, but I guess when you killed all the Marines.
I guess when they don't have anything, yeah, they're pretty great.
MarineKing has no Marines to even be king of right now. They're dying so quickly. You may be the king of the Marines, but you know, who are you going to rule if there are no Marines in this game? Let me challenge that to you, viewer.
You may be a king, but you have no people left to rule.
Yeah, you may be a king, but you certainly have no land or castle or subjects here. He's like, I guess I'll have the Void Ray power up and hit the factory. That's a good way to kill a factory. I'm like, well, you know what? I guess that's true. SOS is like, well, I guess if I just sit over the production facilities, like Tastes and Artosis always say, and just kill the Terran units that come out since they're so brittle, I should win this game. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's true.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
Well, at least he set off the Widow Mines so the Void Rays can move forward. You got to look at the bright side as SOS here, right?
All right. Someone right now is thinking,
like, how does this
someone's
help
like,
me?
wait a minute, did I just go back in time to a Wings of Liberty game where the Void Rushes were working? You could see that how discouraged MarineKing is.
Right now,
well,
oh man.
This is happening, guys. And by the way, a probe will get in here. He'll just make a pylon here and start warping stuff in. So this can just be about as ridiculous of a game as you've ever seen.
I wish he was bad enough that he had enough money for a Nexus.
He's like, I better make 2 of these.
He should make a forge right there so he can cannon push.
Start upgrading shields from it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't even know, guys. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. He's like, all right, well, 3 Void Rays can kill a turret. I guess I'll just run over there. Most players instinctively would be like, oh, a turret, I should keep my air units away from that. He's like, no, it's fine.
Yeah, well,
I
at
have a 4th one on the way.
It's like,
oh my God, he just used the Oracle to spot for the Widow Mines. In case you're wondering what to do to close out the game when you have made 4 Void Rays in your opponent's base, and you only have 1 Oracle, but you didn't have a Robo Bay, don't forget they can detect.
Does the Void Ray have a /dance?
I don't think so.
That's too bad.
That is going to be game, guys. We're going to go to game number 3 here in a series that has been more one-sided than a Mobius strip. This is pretty brutal here.
Yeah, this is, MarineKing's still in this game, by the way. I want to remind everybody.
There's a human playing Terran right now with feelings.
A human with feelings.
A human with feelings playing this game right now.
What does he feel right now, do you think?
I think sadness. This is.
You're right.
I think all of the negative emotions at once because this is really bad. GG.
Wow.
That is a 3-0 lead.
SOS right now just trying to figure out how to spend all the money that he makes in Starcraft.
Okay, everybody who played RTS games when they were younger, they always knew that one kid in the neighborhood who was really good. If Artos and I were younger and you were in our neighborhood, we were that kid. But they'd say, oh, I have a friend from my school. You play this, young taste, will you play this guy? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I wreck him like SOS did. And that kid's like, wow, I guess I'm just not that good.
Is that
I'm
what
like,
we're seeing here? Young Tasteless take out MarineKing?
SOS is Young Tasteless, and MarineKing is that kid from the other public school down the way, who everybody thinks is good, but he's not.
That's what he gets for going to public school. Tasteless hates poor people.
You are so funny.
Great way to show your true colors, Tasteless. Glad you did it right before Christmas. Santa won't be bringing you any gifts. God, stocking full of charcoal. Try to put that in your gondola, Tasteless.
Oh, man. It's 3-0 right now. It's...
May as well be 50-0 right now, the way these games are going. It's so one-sided. It's like, it's a finals. I want to show, like, a lot of excitement. Like, whoa, it's so close. It's so great. Oh!
It's not really the case, though. I mean...
It's basically SOS just making stuff and killing MarineKing.
SOS is good and deserves our respect. Unfortunately, these games are not close. They're not epic at all. At all.
It's epic how unepic they are, in fact.
I was impressed when the fourth Void Ray got in there, and SOS, being the crappy player that he is, knew that he could use that Oracle to detect the spider mines, and it's like, yeah, I guess that is another way you can close this out. And what is already a landslide victory this game. He could have just flown the Void Rays away, by the way. I mean, not like those would have been useful later on in the game, but he could have just been like, no, you know what? And he just starts killing the Void Rays with his Void Rays.
He could have done anything he wanted.
He could have done anything.
I like how he chose to bring a probe up, though. That was classy.
Well, guys, keep your fingers crossed for MarineKing. He's going to have to win every other game from here on out. We will be continuing on to game number 4 after this short break.